Should be in a second. Now it is.
Hey guys, AJ, Ryder, and myself, Mr. Truck Stop Burrito. Uh, we're not going to call him the worst today because he's not. He's my partner. He's my co-host. He's not a bad guy. We've got AJ Ryder and me, Tom. I'm sure everybody knows me.
Hollywood Tom and Tom.
Yeah,
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 sure.
yeah. That's what they call me these days. So that's cool. But yeah, we're gonna be breaking down this pick five we have at Delaware Park. It's gonna be a beautiful day, and we've got three turf races, which is very, very, very exciting. I love the turf. I love the green stuff. And how you doing, AJ? What's going
Well,
on?
what green stuff are you referring to there, Tom?
Well, that's some mystery. I like the green.
Just anything green. Anything
love
green
the
in general.
love the yes. I'm a green recycle guy. So we'll just leave it at that. Love it.
Tom, I have some major concerns coming into the show. Major concerns. Well, one, we set the bar pretty high last week, and now it's us.
We gotta space it out.
I mean,
Listen,
coming back from that, it might be tough.
As the PD, I'm working on some things. We've got some. We do have some special folks coming up in the next. We're planning things out. We can't give everybody everything at once.
Speaking of special folks, Tom, who is it that we have on next week?
Next week, actually, we have a very special guest, Chris Griffin, who is the voice of Parks, is going to be joining us at this time next Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And for all those other time zones, I'm not sure, an hour behind us, 2 hours behind us, and 3 hours behind us. We have Chris Griffin, who is the voice of Parks. We're going to be talking some Pennsylvania Derby. We're going to be talking about the huge card that they have on the 26th. And we might be breaking down some races for next Wednesday with Chris. So he is very gracious. He's gonna hang out with us for a little bit next Wednesday. So we're, like I said, when we got some October folks lining up. I'm sure we might even have a special co-host come in. And yeah, we're just we're so excited that Delaware Park is actually racing on the green that we got to go 5 races at Delaware Park.
You got to cap it, right?
We got to cap it. It's a special occasion. So let's.
Well, I'm glad to know we didn't hit this all-time high. Like, we didn't peak yet. It was a pretty good peak. It's pretty up there, but we're
up there. Yeah. But I mean, it's that now we were up here. Now we're down here.
Yeah, we're like Dogecoin. We're up here. Now we're down here. Then we're up here. Or AMC.
Yeah, with Chris, we're going back up. Then me, you. It's like a very bad stock market.
Very, very uninteresting stock market. Yes.
Where's how you're doing your football?
Well, some things happened. It's week 1. It's always tough. My personal football as a Green Bay Packers fan, obviously.
What's going on, Dennis?
And I'm assuming you referenced that because of Dennis's first comment. But look, Dennis, it's week 1. We got 16 weeks to go. Only one team's ever gone undefeated for an entire year. So y'all lose
the fish.
One. It's all fine.
The fish, yeah.
It's all fine. Week 2's coming up. Week 2 is a very great opportunistic betting weekend for football fans because week 2 is always just a complete clusterfuck.
And then when do you do a quick cheap plug for your football show and let's get to horse racing?
I'm not entirely sure what time we're going on Friday, but Friday me and Randy will be doing Show Us Your TDs.
Best name, best football name out there.
Might be the cheesiest, stupid, or best name in all of football shows currently going on YouTube right now. But that's going to be on DGen Nation. But right now we're on DGen Nation, and we've got to pick 5 to handicap, Tom.
Absolutely. And with how AJ talks about every horse in every race, let's just get to it.
Yeah, we don't got a lot of time.
Yeah, you lead off, my friend.
All right. Well, this one does start in race 3. If I'm not mistaken.
That's accurate.
That is. I know.
You read your notes.
I'm getting Delaware Park down. Race 3 is a maiden special weight for $38,000 for 2-year-olds. Oh God, 2-year-olds. It's going
Risky.
1.70 miles, and as of right now, we are on the turf. And knowing Delaware Park, who knows when they take races off the turf or when everyone wants to scratch. But as of now, we've got a full field and we are on the turf. So, Tom, what do you got?
Where else would I start race 3? When it's on the green, I've got Aubrey Green on the number 1, General Ken. I think I really Aubrey has won 3 grass races since we've spoken last. She has got that hot hand, and I love her on this young colt. And I'm looking, as you'll see later on with my picks. I think this is the race where we're going to see some prices, where we could see a price, I should say. So I do like the one based on the pedigree, and I'm riding the hot hand. I know a lot of people don't like to ride a hot jockey, but I certainly do. I also like the 6 horse. This is that Grand Motion horse, who Motion loves. Another Motion loves that grass. He's a trainer from overseas. We're also adding blinkers on to this 6. Ran great at the dirt, and with Motion as the trainer, I think it's a heck of a price there for the 6. And another price play here is the 9, Spotted Cat, Lemon Drop Kid, baby. Based on that pedigree, is likes the green stuff like Tom does, and it's a first timer that might surprise some people. So I am 169 here.
Okay. Yes, I wanted to make sure I wasn't being like a homer after we had them guys on, because I seen Aubrey and I seen the horse, and I was kind of like, okay, do I like it because like I want her to win, or do I like it because I really think it's gonna win?
She's been on fire though. All loving her aside, she's been on fire.
Agreed. I didn't play it just because like I did have a couple other ones that I really wanted to bet, and the one is the 6, that powerful 4 horse, the Grand Motion horse.
Yeah,
I'm all over it strictly because just the last time it was on the turf the number was so astounding compared to like what the rest of the field can put up at Belmont in a 90K maiden special weight. That number, I mean, that was the first time this horse ever ran, and then they put it to the dirt for 2 races in a row. Now it comes back, gets another turf race. I just think could just be bar none better than the rest of this field. And so obvious 3-1, rightfully so.
Yeah.
The other one is the other Motion horse in this race, just because I'm like, okay, well, he got 2, and maybe it's just I have like the other Baffert in my mind.
I understand.
And so he's got the other one that's running for the first time. It's got our boy Angel.
There you go.
So sorry,
who's also
Aubrey.
been on fire. I think it might have something to do with us. I don't know.
Sorry, Aubrey. I seen you both on 2 first-time starters, and I went the other way. But no, and look, I might be
Dennis. Powerful force, the Grand Motion horse.
Yeah. I meant to do that, right? So, and then here's my question to you am I looking at the trainers here who I'm familiar with and being way too biased? Because the other one I have is the Stidham horse.
You are, but
100%, right?
I'm guilty of doing that, and it's one piece. It's one part of handicapping. I mean, some people don't even look at the trainers. I don't understand how people can do that. It's just, but no, you got to know. You got to know everything.
But that leads me to Solar Tap, who, when I originally looked at it, I'm like, well, it got second, but it lost by 20.5. Like, what is that? But then I looked at the race and I'm like, okay, well, it was a 3-horse field and no one was catching husband material in that race. So obviously they backed off and lost by 20. I mean, if this horse had actually finished the race, probably, going the entire time, it's going to be a little bit closer, but husband material looked amazing in that race. Granted 3 horses, whatever. So I like that we may not know what this horse really has
Mm-hmm.
in the tank, and then comes back now for the second start, because you would have to think going into that race, it's 3 horses. All right, maybe we can go. But as soon as the race is over, it's like, all right, we got to back off. So coming back the second time, I like that opportunity there. And you get Jamie. So
Yep.
5-1 seems a little bit good. I did take a look at that 9 because
Trusty likes the 9.
Yeah, it reminded me of Spotted Cow, the beer up in Wisconsin. But I didn't want to go too deep, and so I just went heavy, big trainer bias in this one, and I went 6, 7, 10.
6, 7, 10. Okay. 6, 7, 10. I did 1, 6, 9.
And honestly, I'm pretty happy getting Stidham and Motion at 8-1 and 5-1.
Yep.
Like that's kind of I mean, if they were all like 9-2, 7-2, I might like change my tune a little bit there. But I mean, to get 5-1, and I mean,
and we'll see. And there's so many horses this race, and that's also, and we'll see it in race 5 that a couple of these will get scratched, so the odds will go down. But
right.
Jay's got 4, 6, 7, 9 in the first leg.
No one likes the other Motion, huh?
Yeah. Okie is in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? All right, race 4. You want me to? Let's see. We are going 6 furlongs. It is the purse is $15,000 for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. All right, this is going to be run on the dirt. Race 4. What you got, man?
I have 2 horses, and that's it.
Huh,
I think there's only 2 horses here that are even competitive as far as I'm concerned. Looking at this, and one is a 6-1 shot, and that's the 7 quad 8s. This is super interesting to me because it always seems to be around in every race and runs really good numbers compared to like what everyone else in this field is running.
Yep.
It's always around. It might just be a hanger. I don't know, but I will give it a shot strictly because of the barn change. What's going to happen? What's going to happen now that we're going elsewhere? You know, what is the barn change done to this horse? What are they doing now over the course of the last month that maybe changes tune? Because clearly this horse is good enough to win one of these races. It always puts up game efforts, 6-1, and then trains like an absolute beast. Like the training line on this thing is ridiculous. Yep. 35, 47, 36, 47, 35, 35.
It's got great dirt speed. He's got great late kick, and he's the best in class by far. So
the only problem is 14 starts and 1 win. I mean, that's the big knock on them right now.
But that's that barn change.
Yeah, but again,
in the irons.
If you're going to give
they got a jockey change as well. Yes. With our boy Angel in the irons.
If you're going to switch up those variables on me, I'm going to take a shot, especially at 6-1. The other one is going to be, I'm going to ride the Ness Express and Jamie there. Coming off a very close win at a similar rated race up at Pimlico. Did the same thing back down at Delaware before that. Mm-hmm. Horse is looking very well in its last 2. 4 starts, 1 win. But I'll excuse the first time it ran in that claimer because it's come back now and ran second twice. I think this horse, if I can't get the 7 home because it continues to just be a hanger, then I feel confident in the 2. So I'm 2-7. That's it.
Okay. All right. I've got the 7 for reasons that I chimed in when you were going. I also have the 3. Bastien La Lebron, with my guy Danny Centano in the irons. I think that it's got. He had a nice last race at Delaware. We've seen there's a lot of last time winners out here in this particular race. But I saw this horse run. I saw this 3 run a couple weeks back. I was very impressed by it. Got just great speed, and great. He's got the best dirt speed. So I opted not to take that 2. So I only went 2 deep here as well, and I'm on the 3 and the 7.
Okay. Yeah. If you've ever listened to our show before, I
Nope.
First off the maiden win, yeah, because you've never listened to our show. First off, the maiden win for me is never like a. I tend to fade it more than I play it, always.
I understand.
Which I mean, I guess now if you're going from like a maiden claimer to like a low level claimer, probably maybe translate to a little bit more, but I don't know. I think I had that mental block there. But when I looked at this whole thing, I mean, the 7 and the 2 just stuck out to me so much. I was like, and I gotta go a little bit, shallower somewhere in this
Yeah.
so.
Yep. And if this 2 beats, if Jamie beats me in race 4, I'm not going to be upset. But I mean, I had to make cuts in certain places. So
Right.
we're on. All right. Cool.
All right.
We're on to race 5.
So race 5 is an 8K claimer for 3-year-olds and up. We are going 1 mile and 70, and right now on the turf. Tom, what do you have?
Race 5. I am starting with a horse that I am definitely not going to toss, called Toss, the 3. Dennis Trusty, that joke was for you. I know you would love it so much. But we've got. Did you know how young this Charlie Marquez is?
No.
He's 18 years old, and he won the freaking. He might be 19, but he won the. He just won the jockey trophy down at Pimlico for the summer. Freaking, he's a great young jockey. But anyway, great kid. He is on this 3 at 10-1, who won last time down at Colonial. So it's an obvious drop in class. And looked sweet on that grass down there in Virginia. So I've got the 3. I like the 6, Voting Control, just based on the turf speed. I mean, this horse loves to munch on that turf. And Ghost Hunter, the 7. Talk about liking turf. This horse has won 9 times on the turf. There's a reason why it'll probably go off less than 5-2. But Ghost Hunter, Jamie and Jamie. But yeah, this is my favorite race of the day. This 5th race, and I am surprised that Voting Control is at 12-1, because it's a weird drop. And it's got the best dirt speed, or I'm sorry, it's got the best turf speed, and we're sitting at 12-1. Hey, I don't make the lines. Maybe the line maker knows something I don't know. But yeah, so I am going 3, 6, and 7.
2 of our horses are the same. I toss. I like Ghost Hunter. I know I just came on to show last time and talked about like older horses and how I have this like kind of like I fade them typically, but when you have a horse coming off 2 straight wins, like impressive wins on the turf at and or around this distance at this same class. How do you toss that horse? I mean, 68 starts, 24 wins, 14 place, 11 show. Okay. Like, all right, well, this is the Tom Brady of Delaware turf races right now, it seems like, because it doesn't seem to want to age at 11 years old. So
it's just found the fountain of youth. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. Especially like its last race at 7.5 was, I mean, it was at 1 point, going away. I wasn't even close. And still ran a super impressive number. So yeah, I mean, leaving the 7 off your ticket, I feel like it's just
I mean, I'm playing that depending on how
yourself
I'm playing that horse vertically, horizontally.
And I love where you're at with Voting Control, because I thought too the fact that this horse was 12-1 was kind of absurd. This is a former Chad Brown horse who, after the claim, went off to Mountaineer, sure. But when I look at it last year, when it was with Chad, when it was up in New York and in Kentucky, this horse ran second in an 83K allowance race a year ago. at Churchill, and then ran two pretty good claiming races. Like Conviction Trade is a great horse. So High, Mouthfeel Dream. I mean, this is up until the claim. I think I can't imagine Chad Brown didn't like this horse. It got claimed, sure, okay, whatever, and then went to Mountaineer and then ran pretty well at Mountaineer. I think there's a lot left in the tank for this horse, especially too, given the fact that it won a high level allowance race at Mountaineer, and you could say what you want about Mountaineer, but still, ran well there. He switched to the dirt, sure, still won, and then now comes here and is running.
It's
again.
it's a weird. Yeah, hey,
12-1. I think is just. I think it's got to be worth a shot. Like
it certainly is, and Roberto's having a pretty decent meet.
Wow. Yeah. So I like the 6 there. Timeform agrees with you, Tom. Toss is their number one choice in this race, actually. So good for you there. But again, I thought Timeform was telling me to toss the horse. That's why it said toss. I didn't realize that was it.
Well, now you know.
Now I know. The other one I'm going to go with is going to be another big 12-1 shot. Who's got my girl Carol on her? The 4 National Honor. The National Honor has been running like numbers who can compete with this class at Laurel Gulfstream.
Indonesia, they retire at 10. That's great.
Yeah. For quite some time in these types of races, what impresses me the most, and the reason I'm going with this horse here, is look at the last time it ran at Delaware. If he ran that race that it ran at Delaware back in July, which was a 7.5 furlong race, he ran it at 1.70 miles. That horse wins by lengths. I think this horse might really like this track.
And you've been talking so long, I forget the horse we're talking about.
National Honor, the 4.
The 4. Okay.
Carol.
Thank you. Oh, your girlfriend. Okay.
Yes. But ran really well in that race. And again, if it's longer, I think it wins by a lot. So I think might be something to this horse. Just, maybe it took to this track and come back here now. 12-1. Carol's doing well. Give me that horse at 12-1. I went 4, 6, 7 here.
Dennis Trusty had Dennis Trusty excellent point. He has an interesting point about this horse called Dover Cliffs, and that's an angle that I did not look into, quite honestly, Dennis. Where he got scratched, this horse got scratched at Kentucky Downs, and now is running here. It's worth looking into. That's a great angle, Dennis. That's another 12-1 with Kelsey. Who's having a very good meet. She's also won down at Gulfstream.
Wait, Dover Cliff
this year? No, the trainer won. But no, Dennis was talking about Dover Cliff and how he got scratched last race down at Kentucky Downs to run here. So
who in the right mind would want to go run at Kentucky Downs, honestly?
Not me, that's for sure. I wouldn't make it around the track once. So you went again, AJ? Your horses?
4, 6, 7.
4, 6, 7. Hey, Toastman Phillies here, and Randy made a nice witty comment that making fun of me being awed about Charlie Marquez because, jockeys started 10 in Indonesia. But what I was more impressed with is that
I want to comment on this though real fast, Dennis. It's not like I was impressed by the Mountaineer, the racing there at all. I'm just saying is this horse was competitive in the biggest stages of New York and Churchill, and then it's not like it really lost form at Mountaineer. So why would I expect it to come back now and run any worse? Like I mean, I get you want to downplay the Mountaineer track, but it was still 2 first and a second. It should have won there. It should have done that there. What I'm saying is it's still in form at 6 years old now. That's kind of where I was going though. I wasn't saying like you should be overly impressed by its performances there, but I'm saying it's still in form since running Churchill and Belmont and Aqueduct.
Yeah. All right. Race 6. Race 6. We're going a mile on the dirt, and we have got what are we here? $40,000. So let's get to it. I only did 2 horses this race, and I almost singled the one. This horse is a veteran, knows what to do. That last race at Parks, as this horse makes its way between Parks, Belmont. He does the Mid Atlantic circuit, even Penn National. Didn't do too well in the Smarty Jones. Actually, finished third in the Smarty Jones at Belmont, but running from there to here, 9-5 is generous odds. So I got this one, and I like him going at the shorter distance as well. The other horse that I like here was the 4. In that was, I think the 4 is definitely the class of the race. And again, I think I like the speed at this distance. So I just did 1 and 4.
You made the journey?
Yeah.
And the King Creek.
And the King Chic.
Okay. Well, you got the double entry there. I just wanted.
Yep.
One.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay. All right. So
I will do the 1 or the 1A. I'm hoping they run the 1.
Right. I'm with you. The 1. I think there's 2 horses. I'm going dead chalk. I'm going the King Cheek and I'm going the 5. Like I don't think anybody else here is competitive.
Oh, the Sling Low. Yes. I'm sorry. And that I wrote down 4, but the Sling Low. Yes. I'm 1 and 4. I'm an idiot. I can't read my own writing.
But you're 1 and 4 or 1 and 5?
Slingo, so it's 1 and 5. I'm sorry. With
okay.
Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, if you're gonna go 8-1, cool. Because we just talked about the maiden claiming to
correct
to the next level. Yep. Look, the rest of the field to me just looks completely outclassed, like by a lot. I tried to talk myself into throwing the 2 in there too, but I could not do it because when you're looking at a horse coming off of the Smarty Jones running 3rd there, and then the Penn Mile running 2nd there in the King Cheek. I mean, Ness, Rodriguez, Delaware. I mean, geez, like how the hell do you go against that horse?
No, and Dennis, to get it at this condition. Hey, I'll take it to the bank.
Right. And then the only one who looks like can possibly beat him is going to be that 5.
Yes.
Which I like the 5. The 5 also, too, who ran super well here in higher level allowance races and at this level in races that were rated very similar, and was, putting up big numbers as well. Just as competitive, if not more. So to me, King Cheek has the resume of like the grade 2 and the grade 3, and then Sling Leo, has the actual like speed figures, and then it's those 2. Everyone else, it doesn't even look like they hold a candle to any of these.
No, and it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping that horse does not get scratched, but the 1A is a decent horse as well.
Yeah, if I picked the 1 beforehand and it somehow ended up getting scratched and you got stuck with the 1A, it's sort of like, well, I still got the 5. So, but I would wait to find that out before I did that.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Randy, why don't you just come on instead of trying to answer his questions?
Trolling us?
Yeah.
It's like fine. We need our trolls. That's fine.
He's got the link, so it's not like he can't. he probably doesn't have his makeup on yet, so he can't come on.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
makeup or wig.
There's a whole team that does it too.
Oh, I'm sure.
He brings in like 4 or 5 guys. Sarah does it herself.
He's got to trim his beard just so.
Randy brings in a barber, a stylist. He's got his own team of like 3 makeup people. They have to come in. 3 makeup people. It's crazy. Like you should see what he looks like. He looks like the Elephant Man outside when he's not on camera. It's crazy.
Well, I did see him in person once, and I don't know. It was dark
it at
out,
the racetrack?
So it was dark out, so I couldn't really. I didn't
was
really
it at the
see him
racetrack?
That well. No, it was at Gass's house when we went out there for the Derby.
I'm sure there was 3 hours of makeup before he left there too.
Good point.
He can't go out in public.
To answer your question, do you think they write races for certain owners, trainers? I think they do that anywhere. Yeah. I think that it's probably you probably know more about that than I do. Mr. My Racehorse.
And then California with Baffert, you would have to think, especially with short fields, they got to be down there too.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those. I think it's one of those in every track that it's one of those unwritten rules that the top dog gets certain favors, maybe.
Well, I mean, if you've got like all the money that goes into these horses, and then you've got the one trainer who's got all the money horses, you're gonna have races for them to run in because that's
that's where the money is. But it's I'll leave it at that. If anybody from my colleagues are watching, but on to race 7.
Yeah, let's get off that now.
Dennis, man. Dennis is a funny guy.
What do you say now? 3 people.
Yeah, he was pretty sharp. He was pretty sharp. Both of them. That's good.
My favorite Dennis comment ever. All right, race 7.
All right, race 7.
You want me to go?
Yeah, man, that's fine.
All right, so ladies race first. 7. Okay. Race 7, a $16,000 claimer for 3-year-olds and up. We are going 1 mile and 70 yards. We are on the turf, ladies and gentlemen, here at Delaware Park.
Woo!
Tom, what do you got?
This is a most difficult race. If I'm still alive, I'm going to be kicking myself with some of the horses. If we have time, I'm going to pull an AJ and tell you all the horses that I had to cut out at the last minute. But I'm only going 2 here, and I'll tell you the 2 that I like.
It's a difficult race, and you went too deep.
Well, I'm trying to save a couple dollars. I don't have AJ money.
I don't have AJ money, but still.
I'm trying to make this ticket affordable. I'll give you 3. I'll give you my top 3. I like the 4 Goodbye Carolina. That is a horse that won pretty recently here on the turf. But that, of course, that was the last race, but it was also almost 2 months ago. But always hits the board. And the one question that I do have, why did they put Roberto Alvarado Jr. when Aubrey won the last race with him? That's my only odd concern with that. But I still do like the 4. I also like the 10.
Is Aubrey in this race?
Yeah, Aubrey's on this 10. And I guess that's why, because Lynn Ashby's the trainer on the 10, and Aubrey is Lynn Ashby's top jockey. And Ashby is a hell of a grass trainer. She's won a lot on the turf this year there at Delaware. And I'll give you 3 horses. I like the 9 Pepper Pot, just solely based. Again, I love saying this word, turf. With best turf speed. I mean, we went like a month without going on it. So I'm going through withdrawal. I need the green stuff. So I've got 4, 9, and 10.
Dude, you got a problem. You might need to see somebody. This addiction to the green stuff is just starting to get a little bit out of control.
It's fun. Turf racing is so good. I love turf racing.
All right. So I'm all over the 10 too, which is why after I asked, is Aubrey in this race? I was like, oh shit, I have it right there in my notes. Yes, I do like the 10. I didn't know that Ashby's favorite jockey was Aubrey, but when you look at the last time out on the turf and you see, all right, then they tried dirt. Well, let's just pick up right where we left off, huh?
Yep. Yeah, they won
Girls, let's
race
pick up
from
right where we
Saturday.
left off, 7-2. Low, but still like right where it needs to be, and is a good price there too. I'm all for that. The other one I have to take is obviously the 2 Flat Out Phoebe. I gotta write it. I gotta write it. One of my first picks on this show, who I picked it at like 20-30 to 1. Dennis called me an idiot. Screw him. Screw you for just questioning me there. I gotta ride Carol and Flat Out.
I do remember that. It was like our first show.
Yeah, it really was. They wanted to try the turf in that race. They weren't able to. Flat Out Phoebe comes back, wins. Now they get the opportunity on the turf. Maybe they continue that trend upward. So I cannot play Flat Out Phoebe after picking her last time, especially too. I think yours is going to improve, and if it keeps improving, we'll see. Maybe if I ride Flat Out Phoebe for 2 big prices 2 times in a row. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's when you fell in love with Carol after that race.
That was my first Carol winner. Big time closer. Let's see if she can close here again for me. Again, they wanted the turf. They didn't get it. So let's see what we get here when the horse actually gets to run on the turf. The other one, a big bomber at 15 to 1, which I'm surprised you didn't pick, and I cannot believe that this horse is 15 to 1. And that's Sprite's Lady. Lake. And then you've got a top 3 jock right now at Delaware and Centeno.
Danny, okay.
They've been consistently going to the dirt with this horse for like a year and a half, it feels like. Never runs that well. I mean, it's got a maiden winner at Parks there too, but just looking at the numbers, and all of a sudden they go to the turf, and this horse runs like a beast at 1 mile and 16th with our boy Daniel on, aboard. And looking at the numbers, like speed figures, pace figures, it looked like a completely different horse. So what do they do after that? They go to the dirt, which, look, I can't quite comprehend. But 2, if you like the 10, guess who beat the 10 last time out? Oh, that 15 to 1 shot. Who's got Daniel back aboard? The 12 there too. I think this horse should just obviously you have to go back to the turf after, putting the effort you did in a claimer of this level. You go back to the dirt and it puts up another, lays another egg. Yeah, go back to the turf. Let's see what we got here on the turf, boys and girls. I mean, to me, it's simple math there when I look at the numbers and you look at the efforts that the horse gave. So you're going to give me 15 to 1 on that horse?
Hey, Chris.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Is that it for you?
Yeah, I got 2 15 to 1 shots and a 7 to 2.
So what was your race 7 again?
2 10 12.
Okay. A horse that intrigues me that I did not play is the 6.
Artie's Rose.
Yeah, and why it intrigues me is one of my favorite jocks is coming up to Delaware. Yeah, these kind of things always.
Say that Farron came up, huh?
Yeah, these kind of things always intrigue me. And it's an Andy Simoff horse. Andy usually has the local guys, so that it's one of those weird things. Why is Farron coming down to ride her? And the Sminoff Peterson connection is. I don't know. It's one of those head scratchers. Well, it could be absolutely nothing. But it was just one of those things I paid attention to.
Farron ran her those 2 times at Monmouth, and then she left Sweezy's barn.
Right.
And then, if she doesn't have a ride, are you just kind of like, hey, so I got this horse I just claimed. You've just ran him.
Yeah.
Want to come up and, I guess that's got to be the connection there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. And and Simoff is a good claimer. So it's I'm not playing it. It's like I said, I'm gonna do an AJ and say I'm gonna talk about horses I didn't bet. Wow, here we go. We've got one of our Chris Dromby. Hey, buddy. Is Delaware's turf filled with broken bottles from Jersey people throwing them over? No, that's actually the dirt. The turf field is.
They mow it pretty well up there, huh?
Yeah. The you don't want to know what the turf is filled with. That's a secret. So that's our secret sauce. But
broken beer bottles and regret.
It's just all cigarette butts and all the old plastic beer bottles and stuff. We break it down. That's what the
turf's made of.
That's what this turf's made. all the old tickets people throw out everywhere. We just compost it all and we put it out on the turf, and that's
you know when you recycle in Delaware, like when they pick up your recycling, they just take it to a big plant and they throw it into a compactor and then they lay it over the dirt at Delaware
Park. So Chris has got a good question, and then we'll go over just real quick because I know a couple people joined late. It's not they're not. There's no the only dumb question, Chris, is a question that AJ will ask.
100%.
But how many horses should you use in a pick 3, pick 4, pick 5? It all depends. I mean, it all depends on what the payout is. If it all depends, like on those crazy days, if we're looking at like a mandatory Gulfstream payout, I would use more horses. But to make it affordable, it's really up to you. However you use them. When I started, when I got into 3, 4s, and 5s, I'd usually start with a pick 3 because you can use less horses. It's a more affordable ticket, and then gradually go into the pick 4s and the pick 5s. But like for example, for this pick 5, Chris, totally I have 13 horses, but it's also 5 legs, and that's low in some people's minds. That might be high in some other people's minds. I mean, you see Twitter where some people will do like 4 horses each race. I don't have, it all depends on your pocketbook. What are your thoughts, AJ?
Well, yeah, like you said, Twitter, you see people put up like $450 pick 5 and stuff, and it's like, oh, it's just not reasonable to everyone else. I mean, it all depends too. Like if you've got a spot where you've got a single that you're gonna hammer, like you just believe that's the one. I can single here, so I can go deeper in other races. Then yeah, okay. Then you're using maybe 4 or 5 in another, and you're using the one in that one, and it all kind of depends, especially in your budget too. But for me, mine always depends on like, okay, I'm gonna go with what I think is. Who are the realistic winners here? If I've got a 20-1 shot and I have to spend a little extra money for that, sure, maybe. But it also depends on like how deep I feel like I have to go in other ones. If you got a 2-year-old maiden race, sometimes you might have to go pretty deep in those because they're unpredictable. So you might have 4 or 5 real like live horses realistically. There's
no clear cut one.
So even like the one I gave here, I don't go deeper than like 3 when I do this show because I'll never actually like one of my horses will always get scratched. And then even like when I have the King Cheek and Singlino, come time to place that ticket, I'll probably just pick one of those to
agree.
To bring down the price a little bit. But I mean, I didn't go deeper than 3 in any race here, but
no. And I hope that answered your question, Chris. And it's, I know you're somewhat, you've been hanging out with the guys now for about a year or so, and you're just learning. So ask all the questions, man. That's how you're going to learn. And Toastman Philly, yeah, you're right. It's kind of like what I was saying. Unless you have deep pockets, you got to, generally you have to single or do twos, two horses in a race. But
Especially
everybody,
pick 5.
what's that? Yeah.
Especially pick 4, you can get away with maybe not having one. But
Yep.
Pick 5, it's going to get a little expensive.
Yeah, I mean, unless,
if you're going more than 3 or 4 in a race, then you're going to have to have a realistically affordable ticket.
Well, we'll say unless you have Randy's money, because isn't he famous for doing
Mr. All Randall Johnson.
Yeah.
Randy will go. Well, it's like Chip gave out his ticket for the Travers, I think it was. It was one single and then like all, or it was like single, all in the last race.
But guys, thanks everybody. We'll let's give our picks out, and maybe we can put them up on the old Twitter machine, and we can have a nice button up. We'll tell everybody who joined us late what we have coming up in the next few weeks. Race. This is where Delaware Park tomorrow. Our pick 5. I will start. Race 3, I have the 6, 7, and 10. Race 4, I have the 3 and the 7. Race
6,
5.
7, 10 in the first?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I did. You had 6, 7, and 10.
So you didn't pick that 10, bro.
You pay attention. You passed the first test. Race 3, I have the 1, 9, and 6. Race the 3 and the 7. Race 5, I have the 3, 6, and 7. Race 6, I have the 1 and the 4.
You have the 1 and the 5.
The 1 and the 5, and race 7. Yeah, man. Why
do I know your picks better than
I can't read my own writing. Race 7. I've got the 4, the 9, and the 10.
You sure? You might want to relook at that before we put them up on Twitter. Otherwise, you're gonna just barely miss, and you're like, oh wait, I actually had those.
No, I got it right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I didn't put AJ when you were putting your picks down. I just saw 6, 7, and 10. And I'm like, oh, those are my picks.
I had the 6, 7, and 10 in the first leg. I went 7, 2 in the second. Big fan of that 7. I went 4, 6, 7. Big fan of the 4 in that one. With the 1 and the 5, the 2 favorites, very chalk. Probably edge out one of those come post time and try to get a little bit cheaper ticket. Race 7, I went 2, 10, 12. Big fan of the 12.
Yeah, you love that 12.
12 is going to be a big part of all my tickets there.
I don't know what I'm going to do with the 12 wins.
Oh, man. What are you going to do if Flat Out Phoebe comes back and wins?
I don't know.
If Flat Out Phoebe comes back and wins, they might as well just give me a job at Delaware. Because come on. Did I pick them or what?
I will tip my non-existent cap to
I'm
you.
going to be your boss at Delaware if Flat Out Phoebe comes back and wins.
Oh, well, so there we go.
If Carol's watching right now, Carol, I'm begging you. I need that'd be a big old win for me.
That would be nice. That would be nice. And Carol's been, lately anymore. Carol and Aubrey and Angel, pretty much dominated this past Saturday.
Yeah,
but,
you've got there's some really, really good jocks there who are very fun to root for. As people.
Yeah.
Just when you see them, we had Angel and Aubrey on. I heard one of the coolest stories with Carol.
With Matt,
with the other member of the Carol fan club. And,
Matt and Megan
extended the invitation to the birthday and the whole thing. I thought that was a super cool story. That's a good jock colony out there at Delaware. So I mean it's a fun crew to root for. It really is.
Cool. Well, appreciate the kind words. You're going to be the folks at Delaware are going to welcome you after all. So, but yeah, so we're going to be going live next week. Same time, we're going to be focusing on Parks next week for the Wednesday card. Maybe just do a little pick 3 because we do have Chris Griffin, who is the Parks track
not the
announcer.
member of Family Guy.
Thank you. But we're going to be talking about the Pennsylvania Derby. I almost called it the Hollywood Derby. I'm looking at my shirt. But we're talking about the Pennsylvania Derby, and they're going to have a hell of a card there on Saturday. Talk about some of the awesome horses we're going to see at Parks on the 26th of September, and that will be next week. I'll be broadcasting from a top secret destination. So I don't know. We're going away, so we'll see where in the world is Tom. It'll be fun. And we've got some good races and going on the next couple days all over the place.
Well, after we hit this pick 5, I hit this pick 5. If it pays out well enough, I'll throw out some money to you to help pay for your travel, because I know it's going to be strenuous on your pocketbook. And then when we come back, like, you won't be able to afford as many good price plays.
No. Well, did you see what I did? Did you see what I did on Saturday? Did you see me flashing those Ben Franklins?
No, I don't pay attention to you on Twitter. Why would I do that?
That's a good point. I think you blocked me. No, I did. I hit the early.
I didn't block you. I muted you.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you want to hear about Delaware Park? You only talk about it once a week.
Well, I'm fine with hearing about Delaware Park. I just want to hear from you. Fair
enough. But no, I did hit. I hit the opening pick 4 on Saturday. Paid for a couple times. So I was in a very bad streak. So I got it for about $400. Well,
there you go. Hot streak coming in today, giving the people winners. Let's go.
Yeah. So it was nice, and I played it because I was at the track. I get so much satisfaction from getting the money in hand as opposed to computer money, because
ADW.
Yeah, or TVG or whatever. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, it was like 460 or something like that. I'm like, this is not too bad. But Alex Condiff in the house, man. What's up? That guy is a hell of a capper. I saw him in Scotty's Pick 6 show today. That guy is Alex is everywhere.
Thanks for helping us, Alex.
But all right, guys. We're wrapping up, and I appreciate Toastman and Dennis and Alex. I even appreciate Randy for being on, even though he probably only paid attention to make fun of us. Chris Dromby, Skybird, and everybody else who was here. Jay threw out his picks. I will get my shit together and I will put my picks out. Maybe we can get Sarah or somebody to put our picks up like she does with on the Friday picks.
Have you ever noticed Randy always comes on to make snark comments, but he's never man enough to actually come on the show?
Well, I only make snark comments on your shows. So
yeah, but you actually are on the show now with me. At least you show your face.
No, when you're on with Randy.
Show.
When you're on
he
Randy,
comes on our
all
show.
All I do is make fun of you when you're on.
Well,
Randy's
we don't
show.
invite you on our show. We legitimately gave him an invitation today.
Fair enough.
He still wouldn't do it.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's just a coward right there. Just the definition of cowardice.
Oh, all right. It's not a Rip Randy show. It's a Delaware Park show.
It should be, Tom.
Randy's a good egg.
Tom, at some point in time, enemies need to become friends to pull together against the forces of evil. And it seems like that's what we need to do here.
Oh, nah.
Nah, I'm good.
I got enough of that. But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and hopefully take one of our picks, 2 of our picks, and you can put some Benjamins in your pocket as well. And we'll see you guys next week with somebody who's a whole hell of a lot better looking than us.
Big show, big dip today in the show, big old peak tomorrow. We're going to the moon like Dogecoin.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.